Hey artists, today we are going to make winter polar bears. Follow along with me and I'll show you all the steps so you can make your own polar bear.
Okay, the first thing we're going to do is take our white chalk and we're going to create our polar bear. First we want to do the body. So to do the body, we're going to make a big kind of rainbow line with our chalk. So I took my chalk from this corner to this corner and made like a big curved line, and this is going to be the polar bear's body. I'm taking my chalk on the side to rub it in and get all of that white fur. And there's that white polar bear. Okay, once you have the body done, we're going to make the head. So in this space up here, we need a nice big circle to be our polar bear's head. You could take the chalk the way you hold a pencil, but it wouldn't give it the same covering effect, and that's why we're holding our chalk on the side and we're just rubbing it on the paper to fill in all that space. Okay, now we've got a body and we've got a head, and we're going to need some little circles to be the ears. And on the side too. Okay, you might have a little extra chalk that you'll have to kind of shake your paper, and it's okay if it goes outside because we are going to cut these amazing polar bears right on out. So now we're going to take our fingers and just gently blend a little bit, not too much, just to kind of smooth out that white fur. Now we're going to take a black oil pastel and we are going to make our polar bear's face. So when I look at those pictures of polar bears, I see they have a big round black nose. So I'm going to draw that black nose. And then they have their little mouth that kind of comes down like this. Looks like a little curve that comes out for the mouth. Then I want to draw those polar bear eyes. I'm just using that black oil pastel. I'm going to leave a little spot of white in the middle to kind of show the shine in his eye. And over here too, try to make them about the same size. All right, maybe this one needs to get a little bit bigger. Look at that cute polar bear face. The next thing I want to do is put a little bit of black in the ears. Show inside of his ears. So just taking that oil pastel, make a little half circle and a straight line inside the ears. A little half circle and then a straight line. And we're just coloring in the ears. Another thing we can do is just add a little shadow with our black oil pastel under his face to show where his little neck is. So I'm just going to kind of go like this. And I'm just lightly making a little shadow, not pushing too hard, to show where his little neck is. That is a cute polar bear. The next thing I'm going to do is get a pair of scissors and I'm going to cut out my whole polar bear shape. So carefully with the scissors, I'm going to cut around the outside edge of my polar bear. Carefully cutting around his face and around his ears until he is all cut out. that adorable polar bear. Well, he needs some snow to sit in, so I'm going to get my blue paper to be the sky. And then I'm going to take another piece of paper and we're going to do some ripping to make it look like little piles of snow. I like to try to rip kind of a curve shape. So it's like a kind of curve shape. And then I turn the paper over to the other straight side and I try to do another curve shape. Ooh, I like the way that ripped. You can see it really makes it look kind of like fluffy snow when you rip your paper in that way. And so eventually I'm going to be taking these little pieces down here and putting them on top of each other to look like little piles of snow. And you can always rip another extra piece. And then you can glue it down however you like to make it look like you have little snow piles for your little bear. So to glue that down, I'm going to get my glue. Okay. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to put some glue right here on the back of the paper, just a very thin line around the edge, not too much. And I'm going to glue it down on the bottom of my blue paper, all the way at the bottom. Okay. And then I might just kind of rip it. You can rip it to fit however you would like. I'm going to make this look like a little snow pile right here, and I'm going to glue that on. So I'm going to put some glue on the back. Just a thin little piece. And I'm going to glue that down on my paper. And maybe if I want a little extra kind of snow fluff, I'm going to tear this so it looks just like another little pile of snow. And I'm going to glue that on as well. Thin little piece of glue and sticking it onto my paper. All right, there is all that snow at the bottom of my paper. The next thing I'm going to want to do is take my white oil pastel, and I am going to add some wind and some snow in the background. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to make some swirling, whirling wind just by making kind of a curvy, swirly line. Then I'm also going to put some snowflakes. So the easiest way I know how to do that is I can just make a little X, like the letter X, and on top I can put the letter T. And that makes kind of the snowflake shape, and then we can add some little dots at the end there. And that looks like a fun little snowflake. I could put one over here. X with a T on top. I could add some extra lines to make it look like a real icy snowflake. We could put some teeny tiny snowflakes that are just little dots. So you're going to add snow however you would like to the snowy background for your beautiful polar bear. Oh yeah, that's looking great. And then I can add in some more little snowflakes here. And another snowflake up here. So you are just kind of decorating and adding snow. That looks like a very snowy day for my polar bear. So my next step is to take my polar bear and carefully turn him over onto his back. Taking the glue, I'm just doing a very thin line kind of around the edge, all the way around the edge, not too close to the edge, otherwise the glue will squish out. And then once I go around the edge, I just kind of add a squiggle to the middle to make sure that it will stick down on my paper. Now I have to be really careful when I turn this over to stick it onto the background. So I'm gonna get the background ready here. Carefully take my polar bear, I'm gonna flip him over and put him right on down. Gonna flip that over. Rub the back so it sticks on really good. And then I flip it over. And look at that happy polar bear in his snowy background. The only thing that I might want to add is I see that you can't see a lot of that snow that I put in the back. You could always take a little extra piece of snow and you could just kind of glue it in behind to show the snow back there. So if your snow was not tall enough like mine, you can just add a little bit of ripped paper and just kind of pull up and tuck it behind him to show that he's sitting outside in his snowy house. So I'm gonna do that over here too. Just take a little bit of that extra paper and you can just kind of tuck it in and show that he's got some snow behind him. I like that. And now we have a finished snowy winter polar bear. And I cannot wait to see the polar bear that you create.